Hey everybody, it's me, Stu Helm, the Food Fan, back at Food Fan headquarters with another little segment for you about, guess what? Food. Yeah, that's all I ever want to talk about. I am obsessed with, not obsessed with food in an unhealthy eating disorder kind of a way, but I have a lot of FOMO about, that's fear of missing out, about not eating everything available to me in this world in terms of flavors and textures and just the creativity and comfort. And I do eat a lot of the same foods over and over again. So it's not like I'm Anthony Bourdain out there wanting to now like eat a raw snake or something like that. Although prepare me some snake ceviche and I'll give it a shot, you know? Or I guess that would be snake sushi since ceviche is technically cooked in the citrus juice. Correct? I don't know. Somebody tell me. But anyways, I'm not super duper like out there on the road trying to eat all kinds of weird stuff, but I am very dedicated to trying to eat a lot of really great stuff here around Asheville. And this leads me into talking to you about some ribs. Now, I am a person that has a beard. People who are watching the video are like, no, duh. But I do take out the audio and put it on podcasts and radio and all of that. So for those of you who are not looking at me, I have a beard. And so I had kind of a strict policy for a lot of years that I did not eat ribs in public situations. And I'm not eating a lot of ribs at home. And so that meant that I just didn't eat a lot of ribs. And then I was like, well, I'm living in a town that has a lot of ribs available, so I'm going to start eating them. So it's not like I'm brand new to ribs. I've been eating them my whole life, but I just wasn't eating a lot of them around town. And I hadn't eaten any, like years could go by where I wouldn't eat any ribs at all. So I've corrected that. And now I'm eating ribs here, there, and everywhere. And I did this year in 2022, I gave out a best of award for ribs of the year for 2021. And I gave those to a place over there in West Asheville called Doc Brown's Barbecue. And Doc Brown's is run by David Brown. He got a PhD, hence the Doc. And he started with a truck, and the truck was excellent and popular. And he finally got himself a brick and mortar. It is way out there west on the borderlands of West Asheville and Candler, as far as I can tell. I don't know nothing about nothing when it comes to driving around outside of Asheville. It might as well be on the other side of the moon for me. I'm a very centralized person walking everywhere in downtown, but occasionally I do take a ride with a friend or a family member out to visit the hinterlands. And I have been to Doc Brown's, and it's a very cute standalone business. Not a lot of seats, mostly takeout, and excellent. I've never had anything from Doc Brown's that I didn't love. And he brought over some ribs to my house. This is one way that people who own restaurants in the hinterlands get me to try their food. They text me and they're like, can I bring you some ribs? And I'm like, hell yeah. And so the ribs showed up with David, and always good to see my friend David. He's a really smart, fun, cynical, just awesome person. I love David a lot. So it was great to see him, and great to see that he had a bunch of ribs with him. So he busted them out, and they were already cooked. They were cooked. I think he calls them naked or bare naked or something like that, meaning they didn't have any sauce already on them. And then he busted out some vinegar, and he doused them in vinegar. And then he busted out some dry rub, just some dry ground spice rub. And he rubbed it all over these vinegar covered, hot, smoky ribs that were cooked to perfection. And I thought maybe he was going to be like, can I stick these in your oven for a second? Nope. He just said, tuck in. And they were amazing. And so I think they're called his dry rubbed ribs, even though they were not dry. They were wet from all the vinegar. But the rub is not a sauce, I guess, is what they're getting at there. But anywho, wow, I mispronounced the word Eddie Hoodles. God, man. All right, let me just get myself in order here. So his ribs won my ribs of the year. My two other contenders were Ukiah Japanese Smokehouse. They make amazing, like smoky sesame, sweet ribs that are just crispy on the outside and just come right off the bone, and they're so good. I love them very much. So Ukiah was one of my runners up, shall we say, for 2021 ribs of the year. And then third runner up, or second, I didn't put the runners up in any order, was 12 Bones Barbecue, which is an old classic, a favorite, and I had really enjoyed a bunch of their blueberry and chipotle barbecue sauce ribs, made famous by Barack Obama, who used to come to Asheville quite often to quote unquote campaign, which, you know, read the subtext, eat ribs. He came here to eat ribs and play golf, and then, like, I don't know, seal the deal on all the people of Asheville's vote. We were voting for you anyways there, Barack, but thanks for coming, and thanks for introducing me to the blueberry chipotle ribs at 12 Bones. It took me a long time to eat them. I mean, Barack was here in what, 2008, something like that, and I didn't eat them until 2021. Shameful, but they were great. But since then, I have had some other ribs, and I had some Korean style ribs from Bear's Barbecue. And I talk about Bear's Barbecue a lot. They just happen to be the very first venue restaurant that I will run into when I'm walking downtown, and therefore the very last venue that I will have a chance to buy food at before I leave downtown to get back home, walking. And so I often stop into Bears. And I love it. And so I'm always like, who's open today? Oh, Buxton, they're closed. Because you guys know I love Buxton Hall barbecue very much, and their ribs are great too, by the way. And then I'll be like, is Harvest still open? Pizza, you know, no, closed. They have great pizza. And Little Chango, great empanadas, but close early for lunch, I think. And so often there's Bears. And so I go a lot, is the point of that long story. And so I apologize if it sounds like I'm talking about them all the time, but I'm essentially just eating my way through their menu, because there they are right there, and they're great. And so all of that lead up was just to say I got their ribs special, like the special of the day. They have ribs on the menu every day, but the special was Korean style ribs, and so they were sticky and DFN licious. They were remarkable. Like, I'm remarking on them right now, so that's how you know they were remarkable. And they were just outstanding. So just like everything I've had at Bears, it just cooked to be so tasty and good. Like, I don't know, the highest accolade I ever give any chef or restaurant is food people like. You know, they ain't messing around. I almost dropped an F-bomb right there. They ain't messing around. They're gonna cook you some food you like, and I recommend the ribs very much. And then finally on my list of ribs to get to around Asheville is Huli Sue's Hawaiian barbecue in the Grove Arcade. Now, my boss Patty at Asheville Food Tours, please check out Asheville Food Tours if you get a chance. He told me that the ribs at Huli Sue's were outstanding. And so I was like, okay, I like me a rib, and I'm doing this whole thing where I'm trying them here, there, and everywhere. And so I tried them, and man, they were good. I think I already talked about these on the radio show, because I served them to the two travel bloggers that were here a week or so ago. And so I think I already raved about them, so I won't go into too much detail. But again, they were sweet and sticky. So that seems to be a common theme running through these ribs that I'm talking about today. The ones from Ukiah have some sweetness to them. The ones that I ate from Bears, the Korean style, were sweet and sticky. And then these ones from Huli Sue's, which are always on their menu, were sweet and sticky as well. And they were very, very delicious. A unique sort of honey mustard thing. I'm not really sure what's going on with the Huli Sue's ribs. I hate to try to describe food without the menu right in front of me. You guys know that a lot of times I just straight up take a picture of the menu and I post it for y'all to see. So, but check out the menu online for yourself for Huli Sue's. I recommend other food there as well. I'll just leave it up to you to decide what to eat when you get there. And they also have a great cocktail bar. And I don't drink, so I've never had a cocktail, but I do bring food tours in there on occasion. And the people love the Mai Tai that they have served us at, from Huli Sue's Barbecue, when we are on food tour. And that is located in the Grove Arcade right downtown. The beautiful Grove Arcade building, which these days is just so full of food. Let's just list them all. There's Carmel's, Burger Works, Modesto, Baba Nam, Nani's Rotisserie Chicken, Summit Coffee, Huli Sue's Hawaiian Barbecue, The Proper Steakhouse, The Wedge just opened a brewery where Sante, or a tap room where Sante Wine Bar used to be. And then around on the other side, we have Babette's Beignets, Well-Bred Bakery on the inside. You can't access it from the outside. And then the Battery Park Book Exchange, AKA the Champagne Bar on the corner. So that's all happening inside the Grove Arcade these days. Some of the best food you will find in Asheville, no doubt, happening right in that beautiful building. So if you're visiting town, get on down. And if you are from Asheville and you haven't been to the Grove Arcade lately, do yourself a favor. You guys know I'm always trying to get you to go downtown. It's not that scary. Patty and I had to drive a little bit to find some parking the other day, like just a little bit. And then we found some and it was great. And so you don't have to be scared about parking. And are there tourists? Yeah, they are. They are there and they're having fun and they're, enjoying the town that you're perhaps afraid to go downtown and enjoy for yourselves. And I say this because I do hear from a lot of locals, I don't go downtown. Like those very words, I don't go downtown. And it disappoints me because I love downtown. And the people who work and own businesses downtown, they really want the locals to come downtown. In fact, I was just in Buxton Hall Barbecue the other day talking to a chef, and I was like, how are things going here? And he pointed to the giant crowd and he was like, they're going great, man. But I would like to see more familiar faces. Those were his words, and more local repeat customers. And I was like, man, I want you to see that too, because I mean, Buxton Hall is a restaurant that's famous all over the country and people come here just to eat there. And yeah, it's crowded sometimes, but if you go downtown to eat dinner on like Friday or Saturday night, it's gonna be crowded. Go on a Wednesday or a Thursday or something like that, and it'll still be pretty bumping at Buxton Hall just because it's real popular. But it's not gonna be insanity, and they have tons of seating. And so I rarely have to wait for a seat at Buxton Hall Barbecue. And I should mention while I'm talking about it that on 420, in addition to some specialty pizza, I also ate a chicken Philly and waffle fries from Buxton Hall Barbecue. And the chicken Philly, and forgive me, world, for using the word Philly to describe something made out of chicken in Asheville, North Carolina. I know it's not a real Philly. God, settle down. I want to recommend this sandwich. It is just insanely delicious. So the price point at Buxton is a little high, but the food is top quality. The employees are paid what they should be paid in order to be able to live in this town. And I know that's something we all want. It might be a treat for you to go to Buxton, but please do treat yourself to that. And if you go, try that chicken Philly, and I hope you love it as much as I do. All right, folks, that's it for now. I'll talk to you in just a little while.